Credit Union. Yours.
Hockey Fan Report and aloha! Welcome to the Hockey Fan Report. I am Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan. I am joined by the ever-present, the beautiful, the intelligent. Oh, wow, that's a little too much.
A little bit.
Slapshot Jones. Hey, Ashley, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I am good. So I was doing some thinking today, and there was some news that came out, and I thought maybe we should talk about that and save the
I agree.
for a little bit later, and we'll kind of get into that. But the biggest news of the day broke about an hour and a half ago. Brian, and I want to say Burke, and I know that's wrong. I just had it. Just looking at the press release, news release. Hold on, let me see. The NHL just released this, and now I don't see it on here. The Ducks GM has resigned amid, and let me see if I can get it in. I don't even have Twitter up. He resigned amid a conduct investigation, and basically, they didn't go much into what it was, but someone from the Ducks contacted the NHL hotline and brought up some inappropriate conduct by Mr. It's Brian something, and I can't think of it off the top of my head. You know who it is, Ashley?
I'm trying to pull it up now, but
Right.
It was
just looking at it. Say again.
It was Bob Murray.
Bob Murray. Okay, yeah. So yeah, Bob Murray of the Ducks was basically resigned as a GM of the Ducks, and it was due to some. I'm trying to find I know somebody sent me the press release here, and I got so many things going on my phone I can't see them all. Here we go. Nope, that's not it. I know I had the press release, and now I can't find it. It figures, right?
I have it. It said the NHL statement regarding the decision by Bob Murray to resign as general manager of the Anaheim Ducks. We support the decision by Bob Murray to resign his position as general manager of the Anaheim Ducks. While we understand that he is seeking appropriate counseling and treatment for his personal issues, there is no excuse and there is no place in our league for the type of behavior that was recently reported through the NHL hotline. We thank the Ducks organization for its prompt and appropriate response to the hotline reports. The league and its clubs are committed to a safe and welcoming workplace across the NHL, and we will continue to take any and all action necessary to achieve that goal.
Really. So I get some positives and some negatives out of that statement. Do you?
I do too.
Okay, so before I go into what I take out of it, I want to know what you take out of that statement.
I mean, honestly, it's obviously a positive that the Ducks were so onto it. Like, as soon as they got it, they suspended him. They were going to investigate it. It all happened fast. The negative is that I don't think they should have allowed him to resign. I think that they should have made, it abundantly clear that he wouldn't be coming back, not just seeking treatment.
Yeah. I did see that. The other thing here is, and this is the thing that I think is getting lost in all of this, is the old boy network. It's not gone away, right? And that's to me, the biggest thing is that it's still there. It's still entrenched, and it's going to take a lot to change that culture in the NHL. And it's not just, and I say NHL, it's hockey. Right, it's hockey in general, and it's not. And it goes deep. It's not just players and coaches and the administration. It's in the media, right? It's in the. There is this air of superiority, and I hate to call out the hockey, the NHL, but I've seen it. I've seen it, and I've seen it in a lot of different ways, both as a fan and as someone trying to become a member of the media. There is this huge air of superiority, and until that bubble gets popped, this stuff is not going away. Mm-hmm. Right? Is not going away at all. And that's the thing that really kind of it messes with you that they sit here and say one thing, but it's not the truth.
Yep.
It's not what it just it boggles my mind in some ways that we hear it and we go, oh yay, they're doing something about it, but they really aren't, right? And that's the thing that more than anything else, and I say it, but it boggles my mind.
It does mine as well. Sorry, I was just sharing it out.
Oh, no problem. I'm trying to get my TV set up here. I don't know what's going on. I think I have it set up, and then they all turn off on me, and then I'm all got to go reset everything, and I think I have it all set up before the show, and it still does it. But I've heard it said before. What is the Blue Note fan report without technical difficulties?
Mm-hmm.
I wish that wasn't the case, but
really, I think that's any show. Everybody has their difficulties. Some just hide it better.
Yeah, I guess so. Let's see. I'll try that. There we go. Yeah, I guess I'm just not good at hiding things. We already know that. So Brad asks, is Torrey Krug, and I know he says Krug, but he means Torrey Krug, coming back tomorrow? No. Krug was going to miss at least 3 more games, right? He's going to miss out 10 days, him and Mikkola both. So, just be prepared. But this goes into a lot of what we're going to talk about today. Doug Armstrong did a press conference today, said some interesting things. One of the things that he did come out and talk about was Braden Chen. A lot of us speculated that Schenn would end up on
LTIR.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to, again, do 3 things at once, and I don't do very good at that. He would end up on LTIR. They're saying no, that he skated today, that he's close to coming back. He's now listed as day-to-day instead of week-to-week. And also, Sunquist is listed day-to-day, right? Sunquist coming back, I actually think Sunquist coming back is the bigger ad than Schenn coming back. I mean, I know Schenn is an offensive guy, but first of all, you have a penalty kill that is in the 90s. Okay, one of the best in the league, getting one of the league's most underrated penalty killers back. First of all, you don't have to put him on the top penalty kill. You put him on the second unit.
Yep.
Right? You put him on the second unit. Now you make your second unit even better. You have three shorthanded goals. You're going to have more. You're going to be one of the better shorthanded teams in the league. If you are a better shorthanded team in the league, it means you can force the issue a little more. If you get a penalty, you're not worried about it. Right? And the Edmonton game, that's going to be the game that shows it all. Now, the question comes, who do they send down? They have to send down 2 to 3 players. Right? Now, they did. Now, today, the other news, the news is today, was that Jake Neighbors is done for the season. Right? And no, he's not injured. He has been sent back to the Oil King. Once he is returned to juniors, he is not allowed to be recalled back until the end of the season. This is an agreement between the Canadian Junior Leagues and the NHL. It keeps the league strong. I like it. I think it does really good. I understand it completely. By keeping those leagues strong, it makes better players that get into the AHL. So that also means he can't go to the AHL once he turns 20. Right? He cannot be moved up. So he's got to stay there until the Oil Kings, and I love the fact that he's on the Oil Kings. That was my job in the Navy. One of my jobs in the Navy. I'll get into that a little bit later. But the Oil Kings season is over, then he can come up. Right? So that's going to take him there. He's saying hi. Chris is saying just bruised, really good, I guess. Well, Chris, welcome, man. We missed you, buddy. We absolutely missed you. And I'll talk about you here in a second. That intro gets me pumped every time, and aloha to hi to everyone. Chris, I'm actually working on that. I like the music. I want to change some of the video. I want to get the video, maybe still use some of the mask, but I also want to get some things with me and Ashley in there like we did before. I'll talk about it a little later, but I'm dealing with some mental health issues, guys, and it's just all there is to it, and we'll kind of go there. Remembrance Day, or in Canada they call it Remembrance Day. Here we call it Veterans Day. It's tomorrow, 11/11, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. I'm trying to remember everything that we wanted to talk about today. The Ducks GM thing is huge, right? Don't know what the conduct was. It's being held, for out of respect and privacy, and I absolutely get that. I think it's the right thing to do, but at the same time, you're just wondering, what. Brad says I can take tomorrow off, and Ashley will do the show. The show. You know what, bud? I cannot take tomorrow off. Right, that's not gonna happen. Tomorrow for the Blues is a big game. It's actually of the 4 games coming up, it's the biggest one in my eyes.
I don't think so, but I mean, it is a big game.
Well, it's a 4-point game. It's the only 4-point game coming up, if I remember rightly. If I remember correctly, it's the only 4-point game coming up. Trying to pull up the Blues schedule now. I'm so bad at all this, but yeah. So I think we play Nashville, Carolina, Edmonton, and I think one other, and I can't remember who the other one is.
We play the Preds, the Hurricanes, the Oilers, the Coyotes.
Okay. So 3 games. So it's 3 big games, and then you got San Jose, and San Jose is doing pretty well this season.
But then after that, we got the Stars. So it's about a week that we have no division.
Yeah, and but you also got right behind the Stars on the 22nd, just before Thanksgiving, you got the Knights coming to town.
And the Red Wings. Oh God, that's gonna be annoying.
Huh?
I said the Golden Knights, and then the Red Wings. That's going to be annoying.
Yeah, so one of the things that I was looking at today, and it really kind of I went, wow, let's do this first, Ashley, before we talk about some other things. I'm going to pull up the division standings, and we're going to cover each division and look at, what are our surprises? The Marine. Yeah, today's happy birthday to the Marines. It's a day that all crayon eaters can celebrate. The only service that was founded in a bar, but the only service that eats crayons for a living. Oh, okay. My fellow brothers and sisters in the Marine Corps know exactly what I'm talking about, and they won't get upset. So don't think that they will, or that I'm bagging on them. I have that. I have a little bit of credibility there to be able to say that. So let's take a quick look at the standings. Let's look at the Eastern, or in the Eastern Conference. We're going to look at that's Pacific Division. I went that. The Metropolitan Division. So let's look at the Metro Division. You have Carolina first with 20 points. The Rangers second, 7-3-3 with 17. The Caps 6-2-4 with 16. Philadelphia 6-2-2, 14. Columbus 7-3 at 14. New Jersey 6-3-2 at 14. The Islanders 5-3-2 at 12, and the Pittsburgh Penguins bringing up the rear at 4-3-4 with also 12 points. So Ashley, just looking at that right there, what's your surprise good, surprise bad?
My surprise good is the New York Rangers. I didn't see them being, that high up. I mean, they're a good team, but they're normally more middle of the pack. My surprise bad is definitely Pittsburgh. They usually play a whole lot better than that.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you right now. Bob Murray released a statement. Hold on a second.
As working for them has been one of the highlights of my career. As I step away from the Ducks, I will focus my attention on where it should be, improving my life for the betterment of my family and friends. This is the NHL statement on Bob Murray.
So that was the Bob Murray statement. He came out and said, "Hey, yeah, I screwed up. I did this. I got an issue." The one thing that I have a problem with, and I know this is going to sound so bad, but it is, mental health is starting to become the thing that everyone uses as a out.
Yep, it's
right?
their scapegoat.
Yeah,
and it's an insult to people with mental health issues.
Yeah, so I do get some of it. I do understand it, but it's not a scapegoat, right? You have to be responsible. It's the same way with me, with the things that I've done. Getting kicked out of that group. There's a reason why I did it, but I can't sit there and blame that reason. I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was doing. I was at fault, right? I was at fault, no matter what. And one of the things that happens when you deal with some of these mental health addictions is the reasoning, right? And I think a lot of people don't understand that. When you have an addiction, or when you deal with depression or anxiety or things like that, you reason a lot. Okay? No, you don't need to get out of bed. You can get out of bed in an hour. You can get out of bed in another hour. You can get out of bed in another hour. No, you don't need to take a shower. You're fine. No one cares about you. You reason all of this stuff in your head, right? And it really takes an effect on everything you do. It does for me. It takes an effect on everything I do. And then what other people don't understand, the things that they do, while they may seem very, very minute and minor, are magnified. Right? The situation I'm dealing with that you know about, and that I'm not going to go out because it doesn't need, but it's being magnified in my head, and it's being magnified that I'm hearing the voices telling me how bad I am and all this other things, when in all actuality I'm not as wrong as I'm being told I am. And that's the thing that you don't understand. And look, this stuff is not going away, NHL fans. It's not going away. And the one thing that I have God, I'm going to get in so much trouble for this. I have a really, really big issue with everybody who said what happened with Brad Aldridge was disgusting. Well, my issue is, okay, now you're actually starting to make it a political statement. Do you get where I'm coming at?
Yeah, I get.
Right? And I hope you understand that the reason that so many people think it was disgusting is because it was a man on a man. Had this been a man on a woman, the disgusting thing wouldn't have come in until the minor got involved.
No, I think disgusting would have come across if it was unwanted sexual, anything. So it's disgusting to be the type of person that assaults somebody in that manner. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's possible, okay? And I get it, and I don't want people to jump all over me or
no, I'm not jumping all over you. I'm just saying that is my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not saying you. I'm talking about my listeners in that, right?
Yeah.
Or others are just getting out that I said this or I said that. And that's the other thing, man. The second I say something, oh my God, trust me, I hear about it. I hear about it.
I'm starting to hear about it a little bit myself, but like
things
about
you said or things I said.
Things I've said.
Right. And that's fine. But understand that we're here talking about this openly, and not just this, but everything, hockey and all of that. We're here giving you our opinions, and that's what they are. They're our opinions, based on everything that we've seen, right? And can agree with our opinions, can disagree with our opinions. Just be civil and be respectful. And as long as we are, that's what we're looking for. You were basically just trying to discuss a situation without politics being involved. And exactly, right? And unfortunately, it gets involved. It does. And that's the thing that really messes it. Tessa, who's joining us. Welcome, Tessa. And I hope your grandson's there so I can say hi to him. Hey, buddy. Thank you so much for being the cameraman while I was in St. Louis. You did a great job that day. Some people can't handle that someone else has an opinion that they don't agree with what they think. Well, Ryan, you're absolutely right, bud. And you also made they've got a reason to hide the real reason to dumb down the severity of maybe what really is with our people knowing the truth. But mental health is easy to make harm look not as bad. And you know what? It is, right? Chris Lambert says that the Pens have been minus Crosby and Malkin. That's why they're bad. Well, they're not bad per se. 12 points, when you look at that, they're only 5 points out of or 8 points out of the lead. That's
They're
a pretty
not
tight
bad,
division.
but I mean, we couldn't use the excuse whenever our top players were injured, so I don't give other teams the same
Yeah,
courtesy.
that's true. That's true. I said, everyone deals with injuries. We dealt with it. We're dealing with it.
Mm-hmm.
I got to the point. I don't care. I know I'm an idiot and an a-hole. Well, Chris, we love you, and we love you with all our heart. That's a definite situation of being between a very rock and a very hard place. It is, Chris, and we do the best we can. My little buddy's in bed, so hopefully we'll get you to you next time, or Tessa can tell him I said hi. Oh, yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit later. MacKinnon being out for 3 weeks. We did play him once when he was out. When he came back, that was still a lot closer game. Oh, Ashley's getting kidded.
I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
No, you're fine. I think it's cool. It's you're either getting kidded or boyfriended. One of the two.
It's just the kids, but right now I have tears, so hold on.
Okay. We'll pull Ashley out for a second. She'll let me know. She'll give me the thumbs up when I can bring her back. Sorry about the little thing here. I got to kind of work with the studio a little bit to make the lighting a little bit better. I'll get there. We'll get there. So that was what we looked at with the East. And I agree with Ashley. My surprises are the Rangers there. The Rangers being, I did not see the Rangers being 7-3-3, 17 points, 3 points out of first, but they do have played more games, so they're actually in. When you go ahead and use points percentage, they drop way down. So we'll kind of see how Philadelphia and Columbus continue. Right now, the Predators are beating the Stars 1-0 in the first intermission. That's a good for us. And then, the other, I think I'd have to combine both the Islanders and Pittsburgh. But again, they've only played 10 and 11 games respectively. Their points percentage isn't all that bad. Every team in that division is above 500. Yes, it's still early. Yes, it's still early. Yes, there's plenty of time to correct things, but that's just kind of what I'm looking at right now. Thumbs up, Ash? Okay. There we go. So, let's be honest, Rangers in second because of an old blue, Reeves. No, I don't think it's because of Reeves. See, and Ashley, maybe you get it, and maybe you understand this. I am not a Reeves fan, right? I'm really not, and I actually haven't been, to be honest with you. The thing with Reeves, I look at him; he's nothing but a fourth line guy.
He is nothing but a fourth line guy, but he adds a certain pep to the locker room, so he does have his use. I don't dislike Reeves, but he was never like I didn't cry when he was gone. You know, I wish him the best, but he wasn't, a star.
Yeah, I mean, people act like, I have a bunch of friends that just absolutely like. Remember a while back when my website was working. By the way, I'm closer. I'm getting closer with that. I'm getting closer.
Good.
I have to send a letter out because my partner changed passwords on me.
Oh,
So,
wonderful.
Yeah. So I got to deal with that, and I can't send the password resets to my email because I can't get into my email because the site's down. Yeah. So, but neither here nor there. But I wrote an article asking about when Pietrangelo went back. When the Blues first played them, who was going to take a run at it? And I got, oh man, nobody, because Reeves was there. Nobody, because Reeves was there. Reeves has been on 5 teams since he's been in the league? 6 teams, right? I think he was on Winnipeg before he was on St. Louis. I don't think he was a St. Louis draft pick.
I'm going to check that out.
Yeah, I know since he's been on St. Louis, Pittsburgh, the Knights, and the Rangers. That's 4 teams since 2017.
New York Rangers, St. Louis Blues, Pittsburgh Penguins, and Vegas.
In Vegas. Okay, the Penguins. So he was on the Penguins. So did we draft him? So we must have drafted him then.
We did draft him 156th overall in 2005.
Okay. So Blues, Rangers, Penguins, Knights. So 4 teams.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how many years is that? What's he got? 10 years?
He was drafted in 05, so he started in 2007. So he's over 10 years.
13 years.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He's on it. This should be his 13th season. So that's got it's just, for me, I just don't see, right? I guess he was in Peoria for a while. I didn't know that. Tessa, I always like Reeves. He put pep in the game for sure. He was a character, I'll give you that. But really, how many games is that going to win you? Right?
I mean, it can motivate a team, but it's not like the most important part of it. So I don't need to have him. Like all these other people that want to bring him back.
Yeah.
No, he can stay away. I mean, he can come visit. He can be an alumni when he retires.
Yeah.
But I don't.
For me, so when I look at, we had Reeves and then we had Maroon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When I look at the two, I'm not sure what Otto was saying, Marianne, but I'll get back in that in a second. Blowing a kiss. No, that was the Stars bench she blew the kiss to. The Stars, not the Sharks. That was the Stars. That was in the second round. I remember. I'm pretty sure it was the Stars he did that to. And I think that was in 2006.
No,
that was in 2016. Right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was the Stars in 2016. I kind of lost my place. So when you look at the two, to me, Maroon was the better player, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think games are getting postponed, Mary. I really don't. The NHL's kind of said that they weren't going to postpone them. I'm not sure. Right now, unless the Canadian government changes things and says that the NHL teams don't have, can't come to Canada, then I don't see them postponing anything, right?
I mean, what I'm reading is the show is expected to go on.
The show, yeah.
That's the title of this article.
Can you send me a link to that so I can read it later?
Yeah.
Right. So, Ryan says it's a GIF in case you want me to send it to someone. The kiss, yeah, I get it. I just think, the show's going to go on. They're not going to, right? Because right now, first of all, everyone in the league that is playing is vaccinated, right? And because they're vaccinated, none of the players are showing anything other than very mild symptoms, right? And until a player shows something other than mild symptoms, they're treating it like a cold. Right? Except the league is saying that it's a mandated, you got this, it's mandated, you can't. Ryan Greaves says Canada closed the border, your teams won't make it to the finals anyways. Yeah, so actually, we got a good topic going on here, Ashley. Let's continue on with what we were going with.
Okay.
You good with that, Miss Ashley?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the Atlantic Division. Florida, 10-2-1 for 21 points, best in the league. Detroit, 7-5-2 for 16 points. Tampa, 6-3-3 for 15. Toronto, 7-5-1 for 15. Boston, 6-4-0 for 12. Buffalo, 5-5-2 for 12. Ottawa, 3-8-1 for 7. And Montreal, 3-10-1 for 7. Montreal's played the most games. Montreal and Detroit. So, who are your goods and who are your bads on that one, Miss Ashley?
I am very surprised about how well Detroit's doing. I didn't see that coming. They haven't been playing well for the past couple of seasons, and they, are second in their division. Obviously, Montreal having gone to the Stanley Cup Finals, I wouldn't have expected them to be in 8th. That's terrible.
Nobody, not even Lance, could predict Florida at first. No, I think you could predict Florida at first. A lot of people had them right behind there with Buffalo. For me, on the good is Detroit, but I'm also looking at Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I said Buffalo. I meant Tampa Bay. A lot of people had Tampa Bay and Florida 1-2, right? Mm-hmm. Or flip-flopped in some way. So, or Tampa Bay there. So, but for me, Buffalo is finally playing the way they need to play. I mean, okay, they're down in they're 500, so they're actually just sitting at 500.
Mm-hmm.
And at 6th, but a lot of people would have put them down for last, had them next to last or last in the league, period.
Well, the problem I have with saying with Buffalo is they started out real hot and then they got bad again. So they're kind of now doing what I expected them to do. They're downward.
So for me on the bad end, I take both of this. I look at Montreal and I look at Toronto. Now Toronto is starting to get things together. While it's early, they still don't have the identity that they need. So until they figure out that identity, I mean, I could see them easily being under 500 or right at 500. Boston, has 12 points, but they've only played 10 games. So they're 600. They're actually ahead of Toronto. I mean, I look at, I actually, now I know a lot of people know this, and they sit there and say the league is a points league. Actually, no, it's not. And that's the thing. If it's not a points league until game 82. Prior to game 82, they look at points percentage. And let's say a team did not get to play all 82 games for whatever reason, stadium closed, for whatever reason, and only played 80 games. They would go by points percentage for that team, not points. So until you hit that 82 game mark, this is a points percentage league.
Yep.
Right? I've said that for a while, and I usually get my pee-pee spanked, but but really the league proved me right. Oh my goodness, we have a surprise. Are you ready for the surprise?
Yeah.
Surprise, are you ready?
Yep.
We've got Lance!
That's a good surprise.
Very good surprise. How you doing, Lance?
Yeah, could be better, but hey, we're all living, aren't we?
Yeah, hey, I know you've reached out to me a little bit. I know you're going through some personal struggles and health struggles, and I've kept it quiet on the show, but I just want you to know we're all thinking about you, buddy. Right? You are always welcome here. Anytime that you need to, you want to come on, yell at me and I'll put you on. You have a home here, and we are all looking out for you in the best way possible, my friend.
Well, I greatly appreciate it, and appreciate you not, going into full detail with a lot of people. And, stuff like that. But just trying to keep a positive attitude, and I'll let you know what it is, when it comes down to it. But it's just one of those things. You got to deal with it.
Yep.
Life is life. And
Yep. And like I said, I don't know how much of the show you caught before you came on, but we've been talking about mental health the whole show with and God, man, I keep saying Brian and it's not, with the Ducks GM resigning. It's got a lot to do with it. I've been talking about, in fact, this more than anybody else. The NHL, our hockey in general, is an old boys network, and that's not going away. Right? They can sit there and say all day long that they want to fix it, but they're not doing anything to fix it. Right?
Well,
and this
is just as any corporation, whether it's a hockey team, IBM or whatever, they're only going to fix an issue. They may put a Band-Aid on it and do some stuff, but they're only going to fix an issue if it hits them in the pocketbook. That's the only. It's the same way with people wanting to know why the Women's Hockey League isn't in every single arena that the NHL is. Well, until somebody puts money behind it, it's a money league, and you've got to have the money to do things. And until somebody says, "Hey, you're not taking this mental health thing seriously enough, I'm not going to your games anymore because I don't think you're taking care of your players," they're just gonna put a Band-Aid on it. A lot of people are tearing up Carey Price, telling them. I've seen people online, and you have Guy, and you probably have too, Ashley. People online saying that Carey Price owes this team and fans an apology. What does he owe an apology to anyone for?
No. Right. No, he just released a statement on Instagram today.
Yeah, and if you remember correctly, when this all happened and he wasn't saying what was going on,
yeah,
I told you behind the scenes that it was a substance thing.
Yeah.
Some people are saying it was injury, and I feel for the guy, because until you went through that, and some people have an addictive personality,
yeah,
and a drug or alcohol or whatever it is, it may not affect you the way it does somebody else. And and don't ever judge somebody by what they're going through.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. That is a true statement. I talked a little bit. I talk about my struggles, and I open up about my struggles, and it's, believe it or not, some people say, you're courageous or this. I open up about my struggles for me, right? It's my way, and this is the one thing that's really hurting. I mean, it hurts me, but I use Facebook as a way for me to open up about what's going on, to vent, to let things, and I'm having people hold that against me, right? I've had it said more than once, right? I've been told to man up. I've been told I'm hurting my brand. I've been told I don't have the right to say the things I say with what I post. I've been told that stuff, and it's taken away that safe space that I have, unless I do open up about it anyways. So it's not really, it's not being as much courageous as I'm being forced to, right? Otherwise,
yeah. And people don't understand, Guy, even if you're not talking to somebody, as long as you bring it out, it doesn't matter if 15 people watch this show or 150 people watch this vlog. It's therapy for you just to bring it out. Not necessarily that somebody's there to say, Guy, it's going to be okay, but it's therapy just to know that you're telling, you're open about it and telling people.
Oh, absolutely. And this is doing the show, and this is one of the things. You're right. It doesn't matter how many watch, but for me, I do enjoy the feedback. I'm a feedback driven person. Right. So if you ever wonder why I've gone off about people not watching the show or not sharing or that, I'm a feedback guy. Well, that's instant feedback. When I see the numbers jump up, or when I go look and it was shared 9 times. Well, I only shared it 3 times. So that means it got shared 5 other times by other people, or someone new shared it. That's feedback for me. And that's helpful. That's my type of therapy, is getting that feedback. Okay, I'm doing something better. I'm doing something right, or I'm doing something wrong. That's how I look at life. So, you be careful what you say, but also, but see, this old boy and not old boy game, old boy network extends beyond the NHL, the players and the coaches. It goes right into the media. Right. And I'm sorry, you know, I've come to realize I will never be a member of the Professional Hockey Writers Association. So why not call them out? Because they are an old boys network. If you go on the Baseball Writers of America site, they tell you exactly what you need to do to become a member. You go to Pro Football Writers, right? The Pro Football Writers group. They tell you what they're looking for in order for you to become a member of their group. I think the NBA has one, but I haven't been able to find it.
Yeah, they do.
I'm not looking, but I actually, from what I've been told, theirs does the same thing. They have a membership application that you can fill out. Guess who doesn't?
No, of course the NHL doesn't.
The Professional Hockey Writers don't.
Yeah. The only thing they have is send us an email, and you can request to be on our media site and have access to all this. And
no. I'm talking about something different. I'm not talking about the NHLmedia.com. I'm talking about the Professional Hockey Writers Association.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
They do not, and they don't even have a way to email them or anything. And I have sent emails to them, right, through Twitter, through the only way I have, to the president, and none of them are answered or even looked at.
No,
right? So it's the same thing. And then what they did one of these pot calling the kettle black moments, right? So the guy that broke the Chicago Blackhawks scandal, I forget his name, when Gary Bettman held his press conference, Gary Bettman didn't call on him until another member of the Professional Hockey Writers said, hey, he wants to ask a question. And then they went and called out the NHL for that, for being, you know, hiding one of their members in that. They basically called out the NHL for being an old boy network. Well, you're just called out for what you are. You're the same thing.
Yep.
Right? Media has changed.
It has.
Media has changed. Media is no longer traditional.
No.
And there's the word, traditional. Traditional media doesn't exist.
No, and it's like you and I have talked before, Guy. You know, they tell me that a podcast isn't real media. Okay, if it's, and I even said this to somebody, and I'm not going to say who. I said, okay, so if my podcast isn't real media, then why do ex-Blues players and ex-hockey players all have their own podcast? If it wasn't considered media, why would they get credentialed? You know, is it just because they're in the good old boy network and they used to play?
Exactly.
You know, it's got to change because media is changing. How many newspapers have went out of business in the last 10 years? A ton of them. Either that or they've all gone to online media. You know, it's where you can subscribe to their paper like the New York Post online. Yeah. And if they don't change, you're going to be left behind.
It's not just them. There's other, I forget it. One of the, Life went to all digital.
Yep.
Right? Life, that's the magazine.
Yep.
Okay. That's almost like the original. Life was what, Life was the number one purchased magazine for over 30 years. 30 years, Life was the number one purchased magazine. The astronauts, right? The original astronauts, they were all part of that. And Ashley, I'm not cutting you out, am I?
No, you're fine. My kids are screaming anyway, so.
Okay. Hey, Ashley, anytime we're on a rant like this, you're more than welcome to speak up and tell us to shut up.
I don't really have any experience with the media, so
yeah.
I'm
you're
just
becoming the media yourself, though. You're becoming the media yourself. You're learning that experience and the fact, like today's press conference. Now, I can't say completely that I wasn't invited because my email is down, but I'm like 99.99999% sure I wasn't invited to be on that. Yeah. And then the Blues, what the Blues also don't do is when they have those media, like a lot of the other teams, they post those media on the NHL media site, so you can either watch them live or you can download them later. The Blues do not post any of theirs.
Oh, wow.
Nope. They haven't posted any this season. The last one they posted was Parayko. Parayko signing his contract.
That is surprising. Right? Like, I would have thought that they would have had that on there today.
It's like you said, Guy, it's a good old boys network. But what gets me is, like you and I have talked about, I know people that are in that are in St. Louis and we're in St. Louis that get access to things, and they never show up at games. Their seat in the press box is empty unless it's a playoff game. And then half of those, they don't show up. I know people from Springfield, a small little paper in Springfield, that have Blues credentials. That's not really within your market. Why does some young kid, and I'm not going to name him because he does what he needs to do, have press credentials to the Blues? It doesn't make sense to me.
That's a daddy issue there.
Yeah, because he's some young, I think he's between 21 and 23, and you always see him in the press conferences, and he comes from a very small entity, and it's not like it's from a city that's a hockey city. That's the kind of stuff I don't understand.
Yeah, no, and you're really, and I don't want to. I mean, I've already gotten on this. I have an issue. I don't want to bother people. They have their problems. Don't need mine. I have issue. I don't want to bother people. They don't have. Okay, I think I understand what you're saying there.
Shockingly, I have that problem too. And when my brother died, that was the biggest issue. Was he knew that I had that issue, and he'd call every 2 weeks. So when he passed, I didn't have that person checking up on me because I'm afraid to call others.
Yeah. Well, Ashley, Will, I try and talk to you daily now, so maybe, hopefully, I know I can't.
Yeah.
I can't fill in for your brother, but at least somebody's there.
I'm doing better now. It's been 2 months. I'm getting there. But he was my person.
We're at that 50-minute mark, and before we get further into this, I want to bring this up real quick. Tomorrow's Veterans Day, and a lot of people will tomorrow, especially, thank a veteran. Veterans will wear hats; they get free. Don't just thank a veteran. Go up to him, and for me, I'm asking for me. Go up to the veteran and ask him, "How are you doing? Are you okay?" Right? Because you don't know what's going on in there. And some veterans don't take well to being thanked for their service. They really don't. So just ask them, right? Hey, how are you doing? Are you okay? Do you need something? Buy a mystery puck. Well, that's right. The mystery pucks, the money's going to go to the Blues Warriors for tomorrow's game, right? Chris Shockley says it's weird, and it is. And I've just gotten to the point where I say thank you. I've seen a video on YouTube where the guy goes back, and it's scripted, obviously. Thank you for your support. I just say thank you, right? We're in a generation now. There are the last drafted guys are in their 70s and 80s, right? They're pretty much not here anymore. The majority of what you have volunteered to go. Just say thank you. Just ask them how they are. Just let them know, hey, we understand. And for me, if you did that for me, and don't just do it tomorrow. Do it every day for the next week, from the 11th until whatever, the 18th. Every day you see a vet, or if you think you know a vet, just ask them, how you doing? Are you good? For 1 week, do that for the Hawaii Blues fan, for the Blue Note Fan Report, just so. And I think a lot of people, when you do it, you're going to get a different understanding of what's going on with a vet. And I really do think it would be really great. My mom had an experience where she thanked a vet, and he was a case of not taking it well. Some of us have a hard time. I did when it first came up. I admit there was a little bit of one time I wore my uniform to Cardinals game. After a buddy of mine had passed away, a fellow service member, and people were buying me beers left and right. I thought it was great, but afterwards, man, I was like, I don't deserve this. I didn't deserve any of this. All right, it really hit me hard afterwards. So, sorry to get on my soapbox there. I apologize about that.
No, you totally deserve that. I want to add some humor to it, though, because my daughter's over here making fun of me because I nod my head yes a lot. So she's doing an impression of her mommy.
Yeah. Well, your mom does a great job on this show. I'll tell you that. She really elevates the show, and we appreciate her absolutely, completely. Right. So Lance, we talked about it earlier before you came on, but I'd like to hear in our last 10 minutes or so, what are your impressions of the moves today the Blues made? We'll talk about move number one. Neighbors was optioned back to the Oil King, and I just lost Lance. Give him a second. He should pop back on. I was wondering why. There we go. So did you hear my question, Lance?
Yeah, about Neighbors.
Yeah.
I think it's the right move. A lot of people in St. Louis don't agree with me, including Darren Kimball. He thinks that he should have stayed. And, you know, I saw the writing on the wall in the beginning of the season. Number one, we know that Berube doesn't always prefer young guys, even if they tend to play his type of system. He may pick a favorite now and again, but I think this was basically the Blues saying, hey, you know, he needs more time. And he does. People go, well, I watched him play and he looked good. You don't know the whole situation here. You know, You don't know what these guys are looking at. I thought he looked good for the most part, but there was times where I thought he wasn't in the flow of the game. And, you know, people, another thing they don't understand, I think he played 19 games last year because of COVID. That's all he played in juniors. So he needs some more seasoning. I think it's a good move. You know, like I said, a lot of people don't agree with me, but if I had that move to make, I would have made the exact same move.
No, I'm with you. I think it's the right move too, to be honest with you. I absolutely think it's the right move.
I think I've been more firm in the idea that that was the right move because you were saying things such as, well, COVID might change it. And I was like, no, he's going down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I thought I think if another player goes on COVID, that could have changed it. But again, Joshua and him are making about the same, and they're both still on entry levels. So,
actually, Joshua makes less than him.
Okay. So bringing Joshua back. So that's what they did. Also did today. They brought Joshua back. Puso is skating and should be with the team on tomorrow. So you could see Hoffer being optioned back to Springfield. With that, they brought up Schenn and Sunquist. Schenn, now it seems the injury, whatever it was, is not as bad as we thought, and he's now listed as day-to-day and will not be going on LTIR. What do you think about this, or what have you heard about that there, Lance?
Yeah, it's not as serious as they thought it would be. You know, they're just waiting to see how he responds to a few things, getting back to skating and doing what he needs to do. I think if he responds well to that, he'll go from day to day to probable. So I don't see him being gone much longer. Sunquist, you know, guys, you know how I feel about this. I get really scared when it comes to leg injuries, knee injuries, ankle injuries with some of these guys. Now, if it was a guy like a number one top center that was more of a scorer and not a physical guy, wouldn't be as concerned about it. But we all know Sunquist. He doesn't play the game at 20 miles an hour. He plays the game all out, all the time, hits people, scores, does whatever he needs to do. He's a Craig Berube disciple, basically. And I'm just really concerned about the Blues bringing him back too early because of their COVID issues. Well,
that's one. I'm with you there. The other thing with me is when you bring him back, you're elevating your penalty kill.
Mm-hmm.
Your penalty kill's at 91%. Do you need to elevate your penalty kill? I don't think so. So if you don't need to elevate your penalty kill, why bring him back? Because not only that, bringing him back means you got to send 2 players down. Wait until he's absolutely, perfect and ready to come back, or you need the penalty kill fails. Until then, I don't see the reason to bring him back yet. And not only that, if you're not taking into account the numerous players in the last 5 years that have had second surgeries, then you're wrong. Because this wasn't just a knee surgery. He also had surgery on his hip.
Yep.
Right? So you're talking about hip surgery and knee surgery, and both of them can be aggravated in a heartbeat.
Yeah, and, I know he was much older when it happened, but you remember when they brought back Bouwmeester, and, he's a taller, lankier guy, and a hip injury is going to give him more problems than a guy like Sunquist normally.
Yeah.
But you and I talked about at the time, his stride's not the same. He doesn't look the same. And even was it Berube or Yo? I can't remember when they brought him back. I think it was Berube. Berube even said, we brought him back too soon.
That was Yo.
Yeah, but that was Joe. Yeah, Yo even said we brought him back too soon. He probably could have stayed off another month.
Yeah,
but I'm with you. If you don't need him back, bring him back on the roster, whatever you need to do. But give him enough time. I was hoping they wouldn't bring him back till around January, the end of December. But I just think the way that they all love Sunquist, and the type of guy he is, he's not sitting there going, "Oh yeah, I want to be off another month."
Yeah,
he's going to do everything he can to get back on the ice.
Yeah, no, I think with Sonny, he does want back on the ice, and I get that. I get that completely. But if you remember the interview I did with Darren Pang, he talked about how he knew Bouwmeester couldn't go to his left.
Mm-hmm. He could not go to his left. It was obvious.
But he couldn't say anything about it.
No, it was obvious.
Right? And now you're wondering with Sunquist, is there going to be some part of this that we don't know about yet? Right? That's gonna bring him down. I mean, if your penalty kill was in the 70 range, the low 80 range, I'd say, yeah, bring him back in a heartbeat. Your penalty kill is number 2 in the league.
Yeah, when you've got a penalty kill that high, it's not going to kill you to have a guy back. But if you're playing that well on the penalty kill, then, why push something is what I'm saying. If they bring him back and he doesn't have an injury, great. If he doesn't re-injure it, that's awesome. But he's a young enough guy that do you really want to take that risk? Why not give him an extra 3 weeks, 4 weeks? Because, some people say, well, it only heals so much. Well, yeah, that can be true. But if it gets healed to a point to where he can push it, then that's what we need. We don't need him out there at 80%. Like you said, our penalty kills 91%. We're one of the top teams in the league, in my opinion. I know a lot of it's got to do with the way Bennington's playing, but why push it if you don't have to?
Yeah, actually, I was wrong. We're at 88.9%.
How dare you be off? How dare you be off by 2.1%?
But look at this. So the Penguins are first at 92.3. The Sharks at 90.3. The Blackhawks at 88.9, and then 88. But we're number 1 in net penalty kill, and what that is, that's the penalty kill plus your shorthanded goals, right? You look at this, we're number 1 there. So if our penalty kill is that good, why do you need to bring somebody back who's going to make it better? You know what I'm saying? Right? It's not the time for him to come back. Well, Lance, we had you for about half the show. We were great to have you back. How you doing, buddy? Are you hanging in there?
Yeah, I'm hanging in there just like all of us are, and I thanks for the invite and everything. I'm sorry I got a little late, but
no problem.
Figured I'd jump on real quick to see what you two guys were up to see if you were getting into it with Ashley because she disagreed with you, or
no? Actually, Ashley disagrees with me. It's very calm. She's definitely not Rob.
No.
Right? Yeah. I love the look on her face when you and I are kind of get into it when we disagree.
Yeah.
And she's just sitting there like a kid in a candy store, just eating it all up and thinking, and I'm sitting here worried that she's not getting enough time to talk. And she's sitting there with just a little grin on her face. You can't really see it that much, but she's just eating it up.
Well, I mean, I was a fan of the show before I came on. So seeing that, it's like I was in the chat again. It's great. That's why I'm here.
Well, I mean, and then that's what we love about you, Ashley. I mean, we've always said this is about the fan, and you're one of the reasons for that. That's what brought it in, and you just relevant in me and him talking. It's great. Ryan Green asked a question, and we'll probably save this for the pregame tomorrow. The Blues started scoring a lot every game until the last 2 games. What's changed? Opponent preparation, COVID. I think COVID has a lot to do with that. And I also think that the Blues are trying to get a lead, keep a lead, and not increase it.
Yeah, I've seen them do that a lot since Brubay's here, and it worked in the first year he was here, and it's worked at times. But what's the best way to lose? Go into a prevent defense.
Right? Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at yesterday, the second period, 5 shots.
Yeah. Yeah,
5 shots in the second period. They were chasing the game the entire.
Yeah.
The fact now, okay, The fact that they got through that period tied at 1 was an absolute miracle.
Well, that
I think
miracle
it was tied at
Jordan
1, right? Yeah,
Bennington.
tied at 1. Absolute miracle, and that was all on Bennington.
Yeah, all on Bennington. And, he's concerned with them not scoring much. Hey, Winnipeg is a good team. I didn't think they'd be this good, but they're a good team, and they're well coached by Paul Maurice, and just a really good coach. And they've played the Blues enough to know how to play the Blues.
Yeah, that's true. Lambert says this is his hockey therapy. This is my therapy fix. So we appreciate that, Chris.
Great.
Right? We appreciate that. Okay, guys, thank you so much for showing up. Tomorrow, the Blues will take on the Nashville Predators. This will be our 4th division game, if I'm right, or 5th, 4th or 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th division game. Yes, ma'am. 5th.
I'm just saying
let me know. 5th division game. Division-wise, we are. Oh, go ahead, Ashley.
I was just saying 5, but
Okay.
my camera's a little off.
Yeah. No. Oh, that's your daughter's hand
That's
in
my
there. I
daughter.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's trying to go 5. Yeah. So this is our 5th division game. We are, and I want to get my record right, 2-1 and 3-1 and 0. Right? Yeah, 3-1 and 0 in division. 1-1, lost 1 to Colorado, beat Arizona and beat Winnipeg. So getting Nashville now. Nashville's having a decent season. Soros is going to be a tough beat. Another tough goalie. This division is a tough goalie division, with the exception of maybe one, but other than that, we just keep going. We'll talk to you guys all. Hopefully Lance might be able to pop in tomorrow during one of the shows. We'll always have you, Lance. All you got to do is ask, my friend.
All right.
You don't even have to ask. I send you invites anyways.
Yeah. I've got
Next time I'm stuck by myself, I'm just going to send him an invite too.
Yeah, I've got some tests in the afternoon, but I should be home by at night.
Yeah, well, hey, if you can, man, and we appreciate it. Okay, guys, I'll get sorry chant going. I'll get sorry. Okay, yeah, because the Blues invited all the Warrior Hockey to the game tomorrow. They're going to honor them at tomorrow's game,
Cool.
right? And another thing that the Blues are doing at tomorrow's game that I think is really cool, they put the names of the 13 soldiers, including Jared, and I can't remember his last name. I want to say Schmidt, on the jerseys.
Yeah, I saw that.
Right. So it'll be really good, really fun. Ashley, thank you. So what's up? Clapping your hand.
My daughter
Okay.
is playing.
Hey, your daughter's allowed to come on anytime she wants.
Her daughter's making fun of her.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
we love it.
She's my little mini me. She's kind of watching.
I was just going to say that she's your little mini me trying to copy you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and Jared's family's gonna drop the puck tomorrow. I met his dad when I went to the cruise for him. I met his family, so that was really interesting. Okay, guys, this is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, for Lance from the Drop Hockey Podcast. Or is it just a Drop Podcast now?
Call it whatever you want.
Okay, just making sure. And Ashley Slapshot Jones saying, aloha, mahalo. We love each and every one of you. You know we're bleeding blue with you, and we can't wait to see you on tomorrow's episode of the Hockey / Blue Note Fan Report.